Hey guys, it's Narrative Tarot. So today I'm gonna do more than one video, but this is the discussion-ish video, and then the other one's more like a reading. And I might just do several smaller ones. But so I was like thinking, and again I woke up incensed with a firing rage. No, I just like some of this stuff, people I watch or filter in back and forth, they're like talking about a particular topic, and I'm just like, let it go. Let it go. Like, it's non-productive. It's just you're putting your opinion out there. And quite frankly, your opinion for a lot of people are just as biased, bigoted, disagreeable as like the other parts. And I've already done this with somebody where I like went off on that person. It was like, you can't speak for the experience. It's just like, no, but the same ignorance you're putting out is the same ignorance you are accusing people of putting out. And that's, ooh, my nails just look nice. Hand looks nice. And you just can't, it's just like, what do y'all want out of this? Like, that's kind of like the stuff that I'm at the point now. Like, what do you get out of like rehashing old stuff? I don't know. Maybe like that's a big maturity thing for me. Like, Saturn's opposing my moon, so it's just kind of like, grow up. Like, I don't know. Like, but I just kind of am over it. I'm over it. I'm over not necessarily like reminiscing and like good memories and stuff like that, even bad ones, but just like picking hot topics just to give an opinion, causing further issues and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I kind of see this as like when like all these planets in Aquarius, all of that is having an effect on me. Like, I'm gonna be real. I don't have air in my chart really. I have Jupiter and Libra, so no personal planets. And I mean, my son is in a traditional air house, but like it's like a water house, so it's like it doesn't really matter. Like, my son is in Cancer, it's an 11th house, so it's like there's a little bit of residual from that, but like there's no real planets in there. There's no real air houses in my own chart that like are really occupied by anything. So to have like all these fucking planets opposing my moon and then like just in air in general, I'm just like so one of the things I wanted to talk about was a very loaded Aquarius and how that is overloading information. So I kind of feel like, and this is not like facts or anything like that because I haven't like looked into it, but I would be pretty interested if I did, like, at what I find. But based on what I'm feeling, I'm just feeling like this is going to be a really overloaded informational time. I don't know if like people are just bringing up everything that they've suppressed. And so like people are just very exceptionally glib at this time. I don't know what that's about. I don't know, like, because this topic specifically is just a bunch of long-standing grievances against people. That's what this is. So for me, I'm going to explain that I believe that like Uranus in the sun deals with, and this is fire signs and air signs to me, specifically deal with like communication and how you can single people out, excommunicate, so to speak, people, what you say either excludes or includes you. I find the air signs and fire signs are more along that wave, and then as a lesson to learn. And water signs and earth signs are more about discernment in terms of letting people in knowing when to let them go, discerning people's motives and stuff like that, learning to energetically block things that that aren't necessarily helpful. That's how I see them. But I I just feel like this is a very overloaded time for people, and I think that this is a lot of just grievances like coming out. Particularly for me, I'm experiencing it because the sixth house is your day to day, and then it's opposing the 12th house. And I see Virgo and Pisces on the axes of experiences. So that's what I'm experiencing. These people's experiences being broadcasted. And I think to me it's just a bunch of grievances. That's all it is. So even with um with Aquarius and Leo, particularly Aquarius being overloaded, I do feel like it's a very glib time for people. People are just, information's going like this, but particularly I find maybe less than positive information. I feel like a little bit of the dark side of Aquarius is out right now. So Aquarius to me is one of those signs where like, yeah, it's like ingenuity and mental activity and forward thinking, but it's also a sign of like not giving a shit. And for a sign that deals with humanitarian, like on some level, humanitarianism doesn't really. Humanitarianism is quite self-serving, and I think that's something that people overlook. That it's self-serving in a lot of ways. A lot of people get into it because they look good as opposed to actually finding solutions. And I think with all these planets overloading, be careful not to get into things that prove you're a humanitarian, prove that you know kindness, prove that you know whatever. And just be aware of all of this information populated. Be aware of all the chatter, social media chatter, your mental chatter. Just be aware because it ends up being really, really toxic to deal with. Like, damn near what, half the board almost is in Aquarius, or somewhere around Aquarius, right? Like Pluto's still in Cap. What we got? Saturn, is Jupiter still in there? Mercury. You got Neptune, which is in Pisces. So it's like this whole Capricorn through Pisces area is like just being affected. But I would just say for people, just make sure that you're not being overly glib or overly eager to share your opinion for the sake of sharing an opinion or for the sake of ganging up on people. Because this is something also that like has come up with me and the Leo moon and me. It's just like this. But like the cliquishness, the drawing lines kind of thing. I think fire signs and air signs, when somebody doesn't agree with them, they're very much like no, this is what it is. And like I had to deal with that. But like the difference, the healthy difference is kind of like people can believe what they want, but like if they're not aligning with how you see yourself moving forward and stuff like that, there's some traits that you kind of feel and you almost actually kind of know as well that are gonna block them, then like leave them alone. So the example would be the person that I ended up like telling off and just explaining how like this is the other side of everything that you're talking about. I ended up deleting that person because I was just like, I feel like in 6 months you're gonna be posting the same stuff, in a year, you're going to be posting the same stuff. You're going to be fighting the same battles. And I don't have time to fight the same battles like over and over and over again because I already realized that this is a new space. Like, you know, the old narratives like are kind of, it's just like old narratives are not done, but we're not letting them be done. And it's just like, I think this is a time where the tongue and the voice and humanitarian collectives are getting together and forming organizations and working on this and that and the other. And it's a question of why are you actually doing this? Like, what is the actual aim of this? What's the point of new thought if you're just going to, one, overly condemn previous thought, two, get on your high horse soapbox about how this thought is much better, or three, use it in a way that just self-serves, like ultimately self-serves. And those are three things that I think you need to be aware of with Aquarius at this time. Okay, this is done. I'm gonna go to another reading. Bye. Because this is so rambly. I don't know.